Oh, man, that is probably going to be fight of the year. I don't know who's going to win for sure. They both have amazing styles. They're both very dangerous. I'm going to give Khabib an edge just because he's good at shutting people down. He doesn't really let you play your game. He really grinds people up. So I'm going to give him the slight edge. But I could see Ferguson winning by heel hook. Like, if he could pull it off, it would be insane.
Man, that's a tough one because Khabib is one of my favorite fighters. I love his style. But Tony Ferguson is an absolute savage. Like, he is I met him in South Dakota, and he's just crazy, man. And that's something that it's like a lot of people don't have, and he just doesn't care, and he will continue to fight, and he won't quit, and he won't break. So it'll be interesting for sure, and I think he's got the power and the unorthodox striking to really hurt Khabib. So
Khabib, TKO. Tony's kind of tough, so I'll say Khabib via decision. I think he beats Tony up, though.
Man, it's hard to get a bet against Khabib. He's just a real tough wrestler, not the style that everyone likes to see necessarily, but he's just a handful for anybody, man, and he's undefeated. Tony Ferguson's a tough dude. If someone has a chance to catch him, he's got a good chance. He has good jiu-jitsu, long arms to set up chokes, but I think Khabib is just too dominant in his positioning, and I think he'll grind out another decision.
I got Khabib. I study a lot of Khabib. I like his game. I like to emulate a lot of his grappling and stuff like that. So he's one of my favorite fighters. So I'll go with Khabib.
Oh man, that's a great fight too. I'm a huge fan of both of them. It's really hard to not say Khabib, considering he is 24-0 and he has not lost to anyone. But man, I'm a huge Tony Ferguson fan. I can't even answer. I don't know. That's a hard one to answer.
Yeah, that's a tough fight, man. Khabib's an animal, but so is Tony Ferguson. And I think they both run through Conor as long as they could get Conor taken down. But Khabib, everybody talks about Khabib and Conor, and I think if Khabib don't go out there and take Conor down immediately, he would get knocked out pretty quickly. But Ferguson and Khabib, I'm going to go with Khabib still. I think he's one of the best fighters on the planet right now.
I'm going to go with Ferguson since he's a wine from the USA. I'm going to stick with that. But, man, if Khabib can get him on the ground, it's going to be a bad time for Ferguson. But if Ferguson touches him, he goes to sleep. So if he can keep it standing, for sure.
I have Khabib. I think that Khabib is a stylistic nightmare for Tony Ferguson, regardless of what other people think. I think that Khabib's body locks will put him on his back, and he's so strong that, I don't think Tony Ferguson can get up. And I think that Khabib's jiu-jitsu is good enough. He'll shut down anything Tony Ferguson throws. And I don't think his, flying leg locks and shit like that's going to work on a Sambo world champion. So I think unless, Khabib, Tony Ferguson does have a big right hand. He has big power, but he's not a super fast twitch guy. And I think that Khabib, has the edge in that fight for sure.